Mr. Leo Long, thank you very much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me for this podcast.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, some people might know you from I Used to Be Famous, the Netflix film that came out last year. I'm curious, at what point did your involvement with the film begin, with the audition?
In 2021, there was a nationwide search for an autistic drummer, so I applied. And my casting director, Isabella Dorfin, put me forward for a part of Stevie in a Netflix film I Used to Be Famous, which is directed by a brilliant Ed Sternberg.
I think I know the man, yes.
So for my first audition, I already brought two of my instruments, which is my boron and a banjo, to showcase my musicality, as well as my acting personnel.
So then, what was his reactions to your musical instruments that you brought in?
They must be very proud of my style, the creativity, and also the passion.
So then, you done the interview, and how did you feel that you did?
Oh, I felt proud of myself, and I've got a second interview, and then my final interview is my chemistry session, which I did with amazing actor Ed Skrein.
So what's involved in a chemistry audition?
So as a chemistry, we literally just form a decent bond with Ed Skrein, which is so magically that we literally work together.
That's perfect. So then, what was it like then with Ed then? Because I understand that the two of you have quite a bond both on and off screen.
Oh yeah, with those moments in a chemistry session, we just both smiling at each other, laughing at each other, and sometimes I get to improvise those lines between me and Ed's Vince and Stevie lines. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That's great. And so then, what was that moment when you found out that you'd landed the role?
I had a really magnificent call from Isabella Dorfin, my casting director, that I've got the role Stevie. Man, I was literally gasping in surprise that I got the role, and it's my time to strike, and I'll spread my wings and fly.
Oh, and fly you did. Fly you did. So then, I just want to move forward to that first day on set. Can you walk me through what was going through your mind on that first day?
Well, so my first day, the weather was amazing. By the time I'd been chauffeured by a unit car to the studio, where there's a trailer on the front with a name that says Stevie. So I open the door and I see that big hamper from Netflix. So I opened the hamper and I picked up the drumstick, which is carved the message on that said, "This is your time."
Sounds excellent. I feel like I need to get on a next Netflix film now. So what was the first scene? Do you remember what the first scene was that you did?
So the first scene is the scene that I did with Eleanor for Amber after Vince said he was a sex offender. This is the funniest moment I ever said in my character.
That must have been a nice start to the day, I guess. A nice start to the project, being able to start on a nice comedy element, I guess, in a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Now, I know you also have someone that's very instrumental to your performance on the film. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about who Cashel is.
So Cashel is my 3-year-old Cavapoo, and he is in a magnificent dog charity called Dogs for Autism, who literally look after so many dogs with many people who has autism. And he's always been there for me when I'm feeling anxious or under pressure on set. And I've already showed Cashel. Actually, do you want to see Cashel again?
Sure. I'm never going to say no to seeing another dog. Go for it. We'll be right back, folks. Look at this. Here we go, folks. All right. So this is Cashel?
Yep, that's my dog, Cashel. He's a beauty, and it's a he.
Okay, perfect. So then, what does Cashel do then when you're on set?
He's always there for me when I needed him again. I mean, he's like a little brother to me.
Oh, perfect. So then, if you're having like a tough time on set, would you just like go away and spend some time with Cashel, or would you go for a walk together?
I mean, sometimes I rest with Cashel, and And seriously, about the other person named Ella, who's a costume designer, she's always craving for my dog so much.
I can see why. I can see why. Look at. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect. So, would you take Cashel onto any other projects that you work with as well?
Maybe actually depending how busy of my schedule of my acting career.
Very busy, I imagine.
Yeah, very busy indeed.
And what about your music? Does Cashel enjoy your music?
Oh, Cashel really did enjoy my music every day in a week.
You must be getting her onto the Irish folk music by now, I imagine.
Oh yes, I mean, I literally experience all kind of folk music around the world. Maybe it's Polish, Spanish, Russian,
Wow.
Japanese.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's another person that I wanted to discuss as well, which is Brett Morgan, your music coach, I believe.
Actually, if you don't mind, may I drop off Cashel?
Yep, go ahead. All right, we're back without Cashel. It's a sad day. So I want to talk about Brett Morgan. So I know obviously you were instrumental on the soundtrack as well. So what was your relationship with Brett Morgan like?
I think Brett Morgan is a world-class coach and also a drummer, and he's been teaching Ben Hardy to play the role of Roger Taylor in Bohemian Rhapsody on Netflix.
Oh wow!
And he's always been teaching the actors how to play drums on set in a very excellent and passionate way on screen.
So when you met him, did you show him up a little bit with all your half dozen instruments that you can play as opposed to what he can do?
Yes, I've been playing firstly on the drum kit when I was 6 years of age, when I was in St. Lawrence School, which is my very old infant school. I went in Alton in Hampshire.
So then, had you played drums recently leading up to the film, or was it something that you had to pick up again?
Some of the drums I do is in a line before the film.
Okay. So then, what were those sessions with Brett like?
I mean, yeah. Actually, firstly, Brett literally dropped off the drums into my house.
Okay.
And I started practice for Brett in the four soundtracks tunes of this film, and I really loved the way that I practice in pure passion. Sometimes we have good times, sometimes it's very intense, but we literally had those laughs and those great moments.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And I know you recorded the soundtrack at the church studios. So do you have a fun memory of those times in the recording sessions?
Oh, the church studios. Oh, it's one of the most famous places I've ever been to. And I literally had a great time of hammering down those soundtracks in a perfect time ahead of a schedule. And I really enjoy me playing drums when I'm doing the recording. And Eleanor was actually at the church studios, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Oh wow! Do you have a fun memory of your time at the studios? Because there's so much history in those walls.
Oh, it's just when I literally relax at the back of the recording area and just listening to what's the samples of the recording, and I really love the sounds they actually make.
Absolutely. Did you bring Cashel with you to the recording sessions as well?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, missing out.
Yeah.
Right. So I was wondering then, because I know obviously you had those chemistry sessions with Ed Skrein, but I've listened to both you and Ed talk about your time on set, and it seems like you guys have a real little brother, big brother dynamic. So I was wondering, what is it about Ed that makes you feel that way?
Well, I've been a lonely child all my life, but who literally I haven't had a big brother for. But for example, of a big brother, Ed Skrein has been a very amazing actor from start to finish, through practice to the end of set. He's always the very most passionate actor who I literally have advices on, saying how to look good as an actor and how to become a good actor.
Do you want to share any of his tips that he gave you?
Oh, he said to me, be disciplined. So I literally just listened to what he just said.
Okay, and how's that going for you?
Yeah, it went really well.
Excellent.
He's like a big brother to me.
I know, obviously, you guys have some really important scenes together in the film. Is there a certain scene that you have with Ed that you quite like, that you have a fond memory for?
Oh, those fond memories. Oh yeah, do you know how many jammy dodgers I ate?
I did wonder that, because every single time I see an actor in a scene that has to eat something, I always wonder about how many takes they have to do where they have to eat the thing over and over again. Yeah. Dare I ask how many you went through?
17.
17?
Each take I ate 17, and I literally just couldn't stop eating because I was craving for the jammy dodgers, and I totally love it so much.
I can't tell if that was your best day on set or your worst day for your diet. That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, I also want to talk about, I know we've got Cashel, and you've got some people that have really helped you come and bring your performance of Stevie to the movie. But another person that I want to talk about is Tricia Hitchcock. How was your relationship with Tricia Hitchcock bringing your performance to the screen?
Well, Tricia, she is a very integral for supporting me to make me a very successful actor. Actually, the first time I met Tricia, it was at the place in Pret Manger, which is with the Accessible Areas team, who literally run by the people who are acting for disabled people and who are autistic. And she's always there for me when I actually needed her for keeping myself calm. And also Tricia was there for me all the way from rehearsing to post-productions like the EPKs and the ADRs. And also she literally helped me for the post-screening.
Okay. So what would Tricia do then for you on set and in the ADR sessions and in the post-screenings? Like, what is it that she brings to the table?
So she literally just gave me a very good brief of the techniques of my acting and also the warm-ups, which is so much fun. Okay. So I just want to say at the end, I had a really amazing coach, which I'm there as an actor, and I thank Tricia a lot with the full support of me as an actor.
Lovely. Excellent. So I was wondering if there was a particularly tough scene that you remember from the film where that you needed the support of Tricia, you needed the Cashel, but you've got through it and you're really proud of looking back in hindsight. Was there a certain scene that sticks out in your mind?
Oh yeah, the toughest scenes I did is the scene where I was at the room alone whilst Vince and Amber was arguing, and I literally put my heart and soul into the scene really well in pure emotion, and I made a really good job to it.
No, absolutely. I think you did an amazing job in that film. Absolutely, especially that scene, because I imagine it must be quite difficult to live out these moments again as you do in, I imagine, real life.
Yeah,
absolutely. So on the flip side to that, is there a certain scene in the film that you have absolutely your favorite, that you really enjoy, that you look back and with fond memories?
So I've got two of my favourite scenes. One favourite scene, it was at the George pub, and I was literally drumming along with the soundtracks with my favourite man Brett, who's been coaching me for 2 months since we practiced for drumming, and I literally really enjoyed with a lot of people all around me who literally lost my drumming in the pub. And also the fight scene and the heckling scene, that really made me laugh when I'm off set, but on set I was petrified.
I was wondering, when I was speaking to Eddie the other week, the one thing which I found out is that the heckler in that scene is actually the man that plays Vince in the original short film, I Used to Be Famous.
Yes, his name is Tom Bacon, and I literally, again, got on well with Tom, and we literally had some laughs between the three of me, Ed, and Tom, and he's a very humble person.
It didn't look like that in the movie, though. Yeah. That's wonderful. So then that was the first scene, and then what was the second scene that you have fun with?
The second scene is the finale. The finale, it brings everyone together like the drum circle, the trumpets, the violins, and also the audience. And the funny thing when I watched the film is that guy with the silver jacket with the yellow with the yellow shirt. He just doing like this.
It's quite funny that you mentioned that, because I was watching the film again this morning, and when you watch the film like 3 or 4 times, and you know the plot and you understand what's going on, and you start noticing the small things in the background, and I swear to God, I watched that same thing, and that guy, he's not quite giving it his all, is he?
Oh, man, I've got to go credit to the guy with the silver jacket with the yellow top.
I'll make sure to stick out for that next time I watch the film. So I was wondering, can you talk me through then that last scene then? Because at what point during the production did you film that scene? Was that at the very end, or was it towards the middle?
It was at the middle of the filming schedule.
Okay.
And seriously, the favourite moment of me being on stage, which has a tin man on the side of the stage on the top, and I had a massive hug before I literally did that pose like this, and I was literally grooving it in, and they was already calling my name already, Stevie's name.
So did you know like that was how the scene was going to play out, or because I know Ed likes to kind of keep certain things, a bit unscripted in a way, like keeps them more natural. So did you know that like the drumming circle was going to come out and you have the violins and you have all the dancers? Like, was that all new to you, or?
It was all new in a blocking perspective. So I really love how the blocking works through the finale.
Okay. So then, would you just rehearse the scene multiple times to like help get it ingrained in your brain, or would you like to kind of just go in and keep it a bit fresh?
I think it's both really, just me getting to my character while I'm on the bench. And then after that, I literally got off the bench and then get on stage. And then I literally just flip one drumstick and I start playing the drums again.
It must have felt amazing. Like, I know obviously they are paid extras, but it must have felt amazing though to be up there on a stage and have people like screaming and chanting Stevie's name.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So then I was wondering too, obviously, Stevie is an autistic person. How do you feel your performance as Stevie, like, what do you hope it does for the neurodivergent community?
Seriously, I was on my debut as an actor of Stevie, and I should be very proud of myself, literally, for the work I put in.
Absolutely.
And for another thing, for the people with actually the actors who are neurodivergent, the people who want to be actors on screen always matters, because they really need to give a massive shot. So I've really done my work of breaking barriers to the neurodivergent actors.
Excellent. Absolutely. I can't imagine how hard it must be to be in such a chaotic environment like a film set where you've got hundreds of people, lights and cameras, and you need to be there every day putting in your work. It's very commendable. I take my hat off to you. It's a very impressive performance that you put in.
Thank you. And also another thing, I've got the British Independent Film Awards that I've been nominated, and also I'll be nominated top 5.
Oh wow, excellent! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've noticed that you also, you've gotten some recognition as well. So does it feel strange being on like the red carpet and everyone taking your photos and you wearing the suit, or do you much prefer, to be hidden away and just playing your musical instruments?
I mean, I love being on the red carpet. I mean, it's a very good way for me breaking barriers when I'm a neurodivergent actor.
Absolutely. The one thing which I did want to bring up again is the drumming circle, because I know that was something that Ed had personally been involved with his own cousin as well. Do you have like what do you remember from your time in that drumming circle, like in those scenes?
The drumming circle is a very, very in a way that the pure community is what matters in the world of neurodivergent film of I Used to Be Famous. I literally first met Saul. It's one of the most very humbled autistic person I ever look up to, by far. And we both hugged, and we literally have our laughs. And also another friend I met is Ayana, which she was a very, very humbled and very bubbly person. Again, we had laughs as well.
What was it then like? Because like I imagine, some of those scenes. I know it only goes for about 5 minutes in the movie, but obviously it takes sometimes days to film and capture. So then, were you there for days just playing the drums? And like I have to imagine, next to eating 17 jammy Dodgers in a day, that must have been one of your more happier days to just sit there playing the bongos all day long.
Oh yeah, I've been literally practicing a lot on the bongos perspective, and I literally been doing those 6 solos throughout the filming, and I tried those different varieties of the djembes, and I really started to get on a groove.
So obviously, you being a well accomplished musician, what would you rate Ed Skrein's skill as a musician now?
Funnily, just 9.5 because of his effort.
Oh, big points.
Yeah, big points.
So what was, because like I know obviously Ed is like the heart, the drum beat basically of that scene. So how many times did you have to like go through that scene over and over again? Like did he nail it first go, or was there a couple of scenes where you had to do it again?
Oh yeah, there's so many takes that we have to do it again, but we literally just had so much patience, more compromised in a way.
Okay. Now, I know that you and Tricia and Ed would kind of sit down every single day and kind of run through what was going to happen and run through the scene. And Ed's spoken about how he likes to kind of keep things very kind of natural and fresh. So is there a scene that you remember where you kind of changed the lines a little bit, or you maybe took something in a direction that wasn't originally scripted?
So in the scene actually where Stevie was jamming with Vince at the community hall, where after the drum circle, it was my idea to say, by the way, see you a little bit lower next time. It's my favourite line ever to say in that film.
It's funny, that line and the other line when I think it's Ed turns up at the house the first time and Eleanor gets angry that he's turned up. And then you have this great line which always makes me crack up, which is when you are like, oh, no, I've invited him for tea and biscuits.
That was again my favourite line. I was literally working so hard to put my Stevie face or when I even say my line.
No, there's something about the way that you just look at Ed out the corner of your eye, which just makes me laugh every single time I've seen it now. Like, do you still look back now at the film and still, like, do those moments still make you laugh, or have you just seen it way too many times now to still find the enjoyment in it?
I've been seeing it at least nearly 35 times already, and I actually love every 35 film watches of the entire story. Really enjoyed it.
Does it peak around the 30th viewing, or would you recommend people watch it more than 30 times?
I mean, some of the fans and my friends watched it.
And what do they think?
I mean, they really loved the film.
That's lovely. I wanted to just switch things now, because I know music is obviously such an important thing to you, especially Irish folk music. And I know there's one band in particular that really does stand out for you, which is the High Kings, I believe.
Oh yeah, the High Kings band. I mean, they've been my favourite band when I was nearly 10 or 12. And my granddad loves the High Kings band. And speaking of High Kings, I was in County Tipperary at that time, and I watched a whole concert of the High Kings singing various of songs. And my favourite songs are Rocky Road to Dublin, and also Whiskey in a Jar, Wild Rover, Irish Rover. And I literally listened to the new album called Row Not Taken.
Okay.
And the whole album, the new one, is the 10 out of 10. It's just those brand new songs. totally love it.
So you said that your granddad likes the High Kings. So was he the one that originally introduced you to their music?
Oh yeah, he really did introduce to my music.
Okay. And what is it about those guys in particular then? Like, because I know there's obviously there's so many Irish folk bands. So why this one?
Oh, it has the pure passion and love and flair to the music.
Okay. So then, is this the band that's inspired you then to pick up fellow Irish instruments like the bouzouki?
Yes. It really makes me just pick up any sort of instruments I love to do when I do music. And speaking of folk music, I literally did the folk ensemble somewhere in Cecil Sharp House, and it's called London Youth Folk Ensemble, which is a ensemble that in London literally just play the entire repertoire of a whole the music. And I literally just made some of the new friends, but it had so much fun with it.
That sounds lovely. So, you've obviously learnt about a half a dozen instruments. At what point do you stop, or are you always just looking for a new instrument to learn now?
I'm just looking for a brand new instrument to learn.
So, at what point then do you think that you've mastered that instrument? It's time to move on to something else.
It was around every 3 to 4 years.
Okay. So by the time you're 60, will you have learnt about another 20 instruments?
I mean, not quite nearly 20 of the new ones, but actually for Christmas, I'm planning to get an accordion.
Okay. I can imagine you're probably just slowly driving your neighbours mad. Yeah. Or they're just very confused with... They must think that there's some sort of symphony harmonica orchestra moving in next door and you're playing all the different instruments.
Indeed.
So, what are you playing at the moment then?
At the moment, I've got my bouzouki with me. So, if you don't mind, would you like me to...
I would love to hear some bouzouki. So, is this a Leo original, or is this something that...
I don't think it's original, but I'm going to sing you a song from the film called Young and Free.
Perfect. Take it away.
So, just do a sound check.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Oh, thank you. So, would you like to play another tune or a song?
Oh, please, go for it. I'm all ears.
So, I'm gonna just play a tune, which is the shanty tune called the Dockside Rant.
Perfect, go for it. So good.
you.
So good. I could sit here all day listening to this.
Oh,
So, what made you pick those two songs?
I picked those two songs both because I've been practicing throughout the 4 days before I literally come into here.
Oh wow! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's much appreciated, mate. So, when you first started learning these songs for the movie, like how did that start going? Like, did they come to you with these already finished songs, or was this something that you kind of had your own spin on as well?
It could be both. It's already part of the film, the first song, and that Dockside Rants tune. It came from the English folk band named Bellowhead.
Okay. And what is it about the Dockside tune then that you enjoy so much?
Oh, the Dockside tune. I've been putting on a lot of variations.
Okay. Well, if anything, you've inspired me to listen to some more Irish folk music now. Mr. Leo Leon, thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been a great time talking with you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Right.